Ba-ba-ba. Yeah. Digital gold shining bright in my eye. The future is here, we don't need to ask why. Spinning blocks on the chain while the digits fly. Stacking up high, reaching for the blue sky. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, everybody wants in. Riding the wave, it's a digital win. Bitcoin, let the party begin. Got the keys to the vault, let the future spin. Zeros and ones got me feeling alive. Crypto buzzing, we're on overdrive. From the screen to the dream, watch it all thrive. Breaking down the walls, we're ready to arrive. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, everybody wants in. Riding the wave, it's a digital win. Bitcoin, let the party begin. Got the keys to the vault, let the future spin. Rolling through the matrix faster than light. A wallet in my hand and the glow in sight. No middle, no banks, just the airwaves ignite. Dancing to the rhythm, new world taking flight. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, everybody wants in. Riding the wave, it's a digital win. Bitcoin, let the party begin. Got the keys to the vault, let the future spin. Rolling through the matrix faster than light. A wallet in my hand and the glow in sight. No middle, no banks, just the airwaves ignite. Dancing to the rhythm, new world taking flight. Bitcoin, Bitcoin, everybody wants in. Riding the wave, it's a digital win. Bitcoin, let the party begin. Got the keys to the vault, let the future spin.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a trader, I've been around. I've seen the highs and the lows, the bulls and the bears. I've made my fortune, and I've shed my tears. Pleased to meet you, hope you guessed my name. I'm well in the crypto game. I'm well with the portfolio so fine. I'm a whale, always on the grind. I've traded Bitcoin, Ethereum too. I've shorted the market and I've made through. I've seen the fun and I've seen the hype. I've made my profit and I've taken the ride. Pleased to meet you, hope you guess my name. I'm a whale in the crypto game. I'm a whale with the portfolio so fine. I'm a whale, always on the grind. I'm not a bot, I'm not a scam. I'm a trader with a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for the turkey.
Just a guy who's trying to make a buck and get by. I've seen the market crash and I've seen it soar. I've made my fortune and I've lost it before. I've learned from my mistakes and I've learned from my wins. I'm a trader and I'm always on the grind.
Here we go.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
Welcome everyone to Late Night Crypto with Road Dog. As you guessed it, I'm Road Dog, but I'm a turkey. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that one out too. But hey, let's roll with it. I've got the turkey eyes. Oh, look at these peepers. Aren't they just adorable? How's it going, everybody? Glad to have you here. We had chart school tonight. Turned out pretty good, I guess. That is over in the YouTube membership section for the $3 a month thing. Stay as long as you want. Get out whenever you want. It ain't no $99 a month kind of thing. See no reason to bump it up or anything at the present moment. There may be some additional tiers later on. I don't know. It's not in the forefront of my mind here. But that is where we do have the Chart Schools live series, where hopefully every Thursday, somewhere around 8:30 tonight, we do have, class on how to do TA and going over trading and the things that we need to learn to be successful at this game, and the psychology and of the market and of ourselves, and just all the good little goodnesses that we try to spread over there. Things that I don't have time to go into in great detail over here on the nightly streams, but we do touch on the same things over here. So welcome, guys. Glad to have you here. I see 9 people hanging out with me tonight. Let me make sure we get the right chat box out over here. Say hello to everybody. Make sure microphone is on and all that good stuff, because sometimes I have boomer moments. It annoys me that you don't always show everything there. Why is that? Why is that? I can't see what we got up there. I can't. Does it pop up? I see we got. Oh, there we go. We got Sin. How's it going, Sin? Bullish on Parade. MG Motorsports. Ryan K. Brackus Adventures. While I was driving, waiting for class to start, I was listening to Road Dog Crypto Tunes. Posted a shot in the lounge. Fun stuff. Thank you for that. That is a way that you can support my channel. And if you will listen in the background, we do have some music going on, and those are original songs from Road Dog Crypto. It's available on Amazon Music. If you got Alexa, you can ask Alexa, play songs by Road Dog Crypto. That's what I do. And you can skip around the ones that you don't like. There's about 70 of them out there from all different genres. And some of them are for fun, some of them have some teaching messages, and some of them are just just the feelings behind crypto. And it's just something relatable. Also, Joe, Trade Intuition, another fellow YouTuber here, considering one of my buddies, he's also doing the music too, so you can ask for Trade Intuition over on Amazon just as well as you can Road Dog Crypto, throwing that out there. Sicario says, bring me a higher low. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Giving me some ideas. There's Joe. How's it going? And we got Ryan K. just sent 5 Road Dog gifted memberships. So we got some people that are getting some memberships here for the private YouTube section. Just $3 a month. That's all it is. Not trying to charge you an arm and a leg or anything like that. Not trying to get rich off of you. But it does help support the financial responsibilities of the channel, because it does cost money to run these things. And I've been doing this little guy for about 3 years, and eventually I thought maybe the ad revenue would pay off for a lot of stuff. So I can, after 3 years, and I'm very grateful for every one of them, every one of you. 1,768 subscribers, 17 in the last 28 days. That seems to be about where I'm averaging so far. Knock on wood, don't want it to go down anymore, but I wouldn't have thought after 3 years I would have been bigger than that, though. For real. And sometimes that kind of bothers me. So any likes, subscribes, sharing, leaving comments, all the stuff, whatever trips out the YouTube algorithm, because I don't know. Apparently I ain't got a clue, or, number go up. I would appreciate it. Just sharing on X or anything like that. Hitting the like seems to really help a lot. It's hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already, really. That would help make that number go up. Wonder if it'll go up right now. Would it go up right now? Any new subscribers? Anybody want to be get hand clappies or anything right now? Nope. We're still at 1768. Oh well. I was hoping maybe this is somebody. Okay, still 1768. Yay! I'm grateful for all of you guys hanging out. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, then eventually we'll just disappear. That's kind of how it works out in YouTube. So here we are looking at what's going on. Total, is this total 3? No, you're okay. Why did this? Was that mushrooms in my pizza? My screen is flip-flopping on me. Okay, so I'm looking over at Standard & Poor 500, the SPX, SPY in some circles. Basically the same thing. So we're representing tech stocks over there in, you know, the legacy world, and it's doing kind of what we thought it would, you know, what it should do, and that's come up here and not just go straight to the moon, but get a bearish retest off of that trend line that it broke, because trend lines matter, and you know, they should be respected. If they're not respected, then it kind of screws up the whole game, doesn't it? But when they are respected, oh man, they're helpful. So what we're hoping for is that maybe we're still bouncing around in this nice little zone. She went a little lower than I thought she would. I thought she'd just touch off here, but that's okay. We had our Freedom Day. We had our Freeder Day. I meant to come back to that. Freedom Day here in America on the 7th. And yeah, there's a free fall day for most of the stocks and everything, especially tech stocks, bouncing off this area. But anyway, what we might be doing is making a W pattern is what we're hoping for. Get a higher low in, and then, you know, we kind of bounce back, you know, things level out, we make our deals, negotiate, free trades a little bit better, world's a better place, we can all start recovering and sing Kumbaya by the campfire. That's what we're waiting on. I don't know when it's ever going to happen, but it's in the progress of the come down part. So we will probably see some fluctuation here. It doesn't have to come all the way down, but she's getting a bearish rejection there. It's, you know, it can still be good, but still sucks where the markets are right now, and it doesn't help crypto out very much. But here we are, right over here. If you look where I'm circling around, I got the little circle circling. Total 3. Now we're this orange line here is a line of reckoning. There's a very powerful Fibonacci area that we were above. It was resistance at one time about a year ago when we should have said, oh gosh darn, that was our sell signal to get the freak out of altcoins. But as much as we even talked about that being a possibility, and hey man, wouldn't it be crazy if we just like go sideways and down all summer? Yeah, that would be crazy. And then just sit there and, you know, like I talked about last night, you know, like if you're watching that cartoon rock up there, so, or that piano, it looks like that piano's going to fall on us. Yeah. But yeah, it does. It looks like hey, it's coming. It's getting bigger. Oh wow, yeah, I can actually see the brand name now. Oh, just sitting there watching that happen instead of taking as much action. I thought I took enough profits now. I've been into this before. Anyway, we're coming back up to we got rejected off of that little orange line there, and now it looks like we're trying to make a flag and go right up there. So we're going to take a quick look at total 3 here in a minute, just to kind of see. It looks like altcoins are going to get jiggy with it over the next day or two, probably to kind of entice probably market makers and the projects and whatever, trying to entice buyers in so that they can do what? Cash the freak out on you come Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. That seems to be the game plan. Hey man, try to extract some cash out of the retail as they come in on the weekends. That's how you need to look at it. That's what they're doing. I'm just being real with you. Until we actually get higher highs and higher lows in this market and actually get a breakout, which we could be. Altcoins total 3 is not totally bad, but it ain't totally great either. Right over here, right below total 3, right beside my little busty red dressed lady in red dancing girl over here dancing by that banana. Y'all are dancing a little too close over there, banana. I'm just saying. You can get that bear to chaperone them little guys. You gotta watch that banana will poke you when you ain't looking. Anyway, so right over here by the dancing girl, this is Bitcoin dominance, and you can see we're if I zoomed out, we'd be kind of like in a rising wedge kind of shape. And this is the daily candles going back all pretty much you're seeing December, January, and all the way up to now. So this whole quarter, it's just been on an upward grind for Bitcoin dominance, meaning that Bitcoin is kicking altcoins asses. If you hadn't figured it out by your wallet, You can figure it out by this chart. It kind of clearly shows that Bitcoin is kicking their asses very welly. But we are coming out of a point of resistance, and so for altcoins, we're hoping that, yeah, hey Bitcoin, maybe you've been in the limelight too long. Maybe you need to chill out. You can go sideways while this Bitcoin dominance thing goes down, and that would be good for altcoins. And that could give us a little boost up over this weekend. We might see that. Let's look at a few other things. We see that the dollar, the DXY, the actual dollar, right behind my little turkey head. Let me slide over here. She is, she's made a lower low than where she was over here at this rising wedge there, and she fell down. Well, it'd be cool if Bitcoin dominance would do the same thing. That would be a altcoin rally to definitely take some profits on, and you'd feel like, oh man, I'm finally back. Yeah. Let's hope for that situation. I like that idea. Let's come over here. This is Bitcoin dominance on the bigger chart, and you can see we are on an internal trend line. Internal trend line, what does that mean? It started out as a trend line, it broke that trend line, and then it started riding it right on up on the other side of it. It's an internal one, and a lot of times with these, we can get M tops. Okay, we can get double tops, M tops, however you want to look at it. Might even make a higher high, but we can still give it up and go through distribution, especially since we're at a point of resistance with this other trend line and this apparently a Fibonacci area that I've got there, 64%. Or no, not Fibonacci. It is just it's the top of the wick over here, and there's a saying in crypto, or in trading, not just in crypto, in trading, what gets wicked often gets candlesticked. And then maybe that's where our little double top or a top double top formation can be from a wick, and we get rejected. If we get rejected, things are good. We would love to see that happen. That would be beautiful. It could be setting up for, I'm seeing some signs that we might be, but momentum is still strong with this one. Still strong with this one, it is. It's just a few little key things, maybe finding some, if you look here, some people will make an argument. There's an argument last cycle whether you could do this or not, and that's whether you could have bearish divergence on an indicator. They got it real heated over that. You can't do it. Well, I can do it right here. She hasn't really rolled over, so we don't really have a point, but if she does make a lower point here, that is good. If we get some bearish divergence, which is that's what that would be. That would be the is that the fun kind? Oh snap, are you not the fun kind? What? So we got price coming to the downside here. No, that's the good kind. I have to do the little thing in my head. So from candle bodies to candle bodies is going up, but on the indicator, those tops, once we confirm a top, it's still not confirmed. We'll know soon, but it's making some bearish divergence, and that's on a bigger time frame. And we just hope to gosh that actually works, and that's the sign that we need at a resistance area that we might get a reversal on Bitcoin dominance. Maybe over this next coming week, there could be a few days. It may continue on up during the weekend. I don't know. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. This is the tricky days in the market where they will try to get you bullish and get you caught up, or maybe they'll try to scare you into selling and then run the price. And they'll play games with you this weekend. Okay, they like to do that about every weekend. Either play games or go bore you to tears. And if we've been looking at Bitcoin, she's been boring me to tears. So basically, Bitcoin is sideways right now. So we got our little cheat sheet right over here, and I got to look at it with you because I don't have all this totally committed to memory. But basically, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, it's not good for altcoins. There's really not a great situation. Unless, Bitcoin dominance is going up and altcoin and Bitcoin is going sideways. Kind of what she's doing now. Kind of. If they both go up together, altcoins have a tendency to go down. If Bitcoin dominance goes up by itself and Bitcoin starts going down, altcoins just dump. We've had enough of that. We don't need to see any more of that. Basically, we just want to see Bitcoin dominance go down. It's at a point that it can do it, and our options when it comes down is that altcoins, we get like a little rally, and they start climbing and going up, or they just kind of hang sideways even when Bitcoin goes down. But if Bitcoin dominance is going down and Bitcoin is going up, it's usually taking the altcoins with it. So basically, we just want Bitcoin dominance to go down. That's the best for us right there. However you look at it, it's always good when Bitcoin dominance is going down for altcoins, in the majority of the cases there. Let me take that off, or else I'll leave that on all night long. All night long. Hey, let's throw up the wall sheet treat sheet. Where do you think we are right now? Let's see. I can't really put my thingy on it. Would you say that we are in euphoria? And I would say that's a big hell no. I would say that we are somewhere between this depression and disbelief phase. And that was right over, if you see right behind my head. Can you guys see that? Right, point to it. Can I point? Nope. This is so confusing. Okay, so disbelief. What comes before disbelief is way on the other side, depression. So depression over here somewhere, and then disbelief, and then we start getting some hope and optimism, and this is when the run is starting. So this is, it's starting to look interesting. It's starting to look interesting. And so will Bitcoin go sideways, or is it going to go up? It's been going sideways mostly for the last few days. Boringly so, painfully so. Chop, chop, chop. I'm just, any trades I get in, I'm giving it up on fees. The fees are getting the most of it. There's just not much of a move there, and no matter what you do, the fees seem to always win. So this is where a lot of us give back any gains that we get if we keep trying, insisting on trying to catch the little trades here. Unless you get, you know, within a real good trade range strategy. But how many options do you have to catch them? And then have the conviction to hold it, because it's choppy, chop, chop. That's the hardest thing about it. Lots of stop outs and everything on the smaller time frames. But we are back in our little rejection area, and we're not getting as rejected here anymore. I find that kind of interesting. We're above the 9 moving average. I'm on the 2-hour time frame. It's just happened where I'm at, so I'm reading it, and it's telling me that, you know, we're below this 666 moving average. That is Miss Lucy, in case you don't know, and I've got that thing on. See, I do that. There we go. This is our rejection area. Now we can see what I was talking about behind the thing. Glad I caught that. Might be we're going sideways here. Might it be a flag to the upside? Maybe, but it's kind of chancy. Kind of chancy to go with that idea. I am actually looking for us to the way that we're going here. Now, we did not make a higher high just yet. We just came right below it, I believe. We technically made a lower high here. And that's why I think hopefully we're going sideways so that we can try to make our higher high. And if I had to guess, I would be looking at this next target here. The 786 Fibonacci, 85,700. Above it is the 886 Fibonacci. That's a little bit of a more bullish sign if we can get there, really, that we could, you know, kind of range. If you know, either we're going to go higher or we're going to get rejected, and if we do get rejected from this one, you know, we got a good chance to maybe still stay in our range, not go for a lower low or anything. Just throwing that idea out there. But that might be what we're working on here over the weekend, or we might just be getting rejected off this 618 with that lower low. It's hard to tell right now. It's been, but whatever it does, the best places seem to be the pivot points to try to catch this guy, and I'm just trying to make sense of what the chop that we got here. It's just crazy. Maybe I should just go to a different chart. Yeah. So there's some cool signs here on the 1 hour that I see for Bitcoin, and I think that's what we're talking about. The smaller time frames look good. Let me take the bigger guys off of here. The smaller ones look good. We're above the 200 moving average, right? That's the popular one to look for. We go to the 4 hour, we're above the 200. Even on the 4 hour, you're getting the bullish cross, the golden cross of the 50 over the 200. That's technically a buy signal. It's not the great buy signal at all. It's kind of a crappy buy signal, to be honest with you, but it is still the traditional buy signal. In the overall sense, that's a bullish signal there. It just doesn't mean buy right now. Got some bullish crosses, 9/21. These things are looking good that we can get that move up to that 85.5, maybe a little higher area. Maybe we'll go for a higher high there. That'd be cool. We need to, in the bigger scope of things, we need to put in a higher high somewhere. Hopefully somewhere around 89,000 or more. That's what we need to, and we could be working on it. I hope we are. A lot of the indicators are looking like we could. MACD's kind of like, she's ready to gobble us up if we come down to her, though. And she will in a heartbeat. I don't like it being that thick, but you know, that's a warning that we don't need to get too close to her. But the other indicators are saying, hey man, we might have a shot here. Look at your MACD on the 4-hour. That's nice. Start getting above here, start printing some blue bars though on the histogram. Get across to that blue line over that red one. We got a flipping in on this lagging indicator, and that's going to be nice for a few days. That could be us getting up a little bit more. It's hard to imagine us doing that over the weekend though, and it being organic and you know, not fate. Right now we can see that we're getting a few candles down here on the volume that aren't as big. They're not really leading up like they were before. Now they're dropping off. So we're getting some rising price action here, but with some falling volume, and that's always something to keep your eye on. That's something that you want to watch. I had one mentor that would always say, let volume be your guide. Never really understood what the hell he's talking about with that, but it's along those lines. It's something to pay attention to, but it's not, you know, it's just one little monitor that we have in our toolbox. Okay, just one little signal. We want to see some more volume come in, and usually for breakouts and for moves to the upside, for them to sustain themselves, we need to see that volume. That means people actually coming in with real orders saying, I'm ready to buy, I'm ready to buy. Otherwise, it's just the market makers playing with you, just teasing that little carrot. You know, there's oh, you want the candy bar? Yeah, jump for it, jump for the candy bar. You know, like you do with your little brother or sister or whatever. I never had one. I was usually the one jumping up for the candy bar, if I gotta be honest. Yeah, let me get it. Yeah, let me get it. Give me candy bar. Candy, I want it. Candy, give me Bitcoin. Give me Bitcoin. And so we're jumping up there trying to get those higher prices. That's how they get us. That's how they get us. They dangle that carrot, and we're just following. Oh, look, chocolate. I love chocolate. All right, so that's what I things look like they're like the weekend. They're going to play us, but what I'm trying to warn you about is we never want to be chasing these green candles, especially on the traps. Don't let them trap you. We should be having our positions ready to take profits. And I've had some ready to take profits on up there for a while. They just got to get there. But I want to look at Total 3 real quick. We'll come to the chat. Total 3, you're already in the green cloud here. Shame on you. Don't be doing it, darling. Don't do it. We got to draw us a trend line. I'm just going to go from this candle body here to the next candle body there, and then line her up. And oh, we haven't touched that. I'm doing it right. Oh, there's a little bit of just a little bit. We'll go to that and touch that wick. You're making it do what? Yeah, you could. I can see how people would see that. You can take the magnet tool. Some people do that. I have no problem with people doing that. I don't know. I'm just used to doing it this way, and I'd like to be hands-on. We'll try the magnet way to show you, but I'm just going to draw it back the way I had it. I'm just being honest with you. If I remember right, the ray tool, turn the little magnet thing on. And a lot of people do this from wicks to wicks, and you know, they'll get this little guy. Well, it broke that trend line. We go from body to the body. And don't make me like you. Don't make me start liking you. I'm too old to change my ways. I might leave you on there for a minute. Joe's probably laughing. Told you. Shh. I don't know that I'll stick with it, because I still do some other stuff with these trend lines. But that's a way to make sure that you are actually kind of nailing those actual bodies and things now. All right, so we got a trend line that maybe we're respecting, maybe we're not. I hope that we are, because I don't care. You know, if a lot of people I'm not gonna say a lot of people. There are some people that you know, see, now the magnet's getting on my nerves. That's why. There's always those people that just only see flags. Look, and we got a breakout on this flag. You got any volume on that little sucker? What is this, total 3? Anyway, if the flag continues outside the trend line, it starts getting a little iffy if that little sucker's going to play out. Take the angles from this. We got a little bit more wiggle room. I'm going to give it a little bit more wiggle room on that since we're on the 4 hour. But we're above the 9 moving average on the 4 hour. As long as we're above the 9 moving average, my adage is we're doing fine. There's some other signs here, like on Bitcoin. MACD, she's already got a blue candle written there. We already got a cross. It's not a strong one because the angle, this is something I pay attention to on MACD in case you guys never heard this before. You see how that's kind of a shallow angle? That's a weak cross, so it's a weak move. If the angle were more intense, say look something, if without me doing this, it looked like it had a steeper angle like this, I'd be saying, that looks freaking juicy. We're about to do something here. But that's not what we got. Instead, we got this where it's kind of like, hey man, do you mind if I just kind of put my arm around here, rest it here on your shoulder? All right, yeah, okay. We just got something, a little lackluster move there. Not much strength behind it at the moment. It can change, but right now she's saying, eh. So I'm wondering, are the altcoins, are we looking for something good happening with altcoins on total 3? And I would think that we can see a nice bump up, but I don't think it's going to be as authentic. On total 3, we're looking for eventually getting a breakout, and that's the big thing. So with the zoom out, just like Bitcoin, we're beneath the trend line, and those trend lines are very important. We're at an area, we're right up there testing it, making these lines off. And eventually, when we're in the situation, it's not going to get rejected, and we'll cross over it. Here on the daily, we've got a bullish cross of the 9 over the 21. That tells me we got a good chance to get a small little pump this weekend. I don't know if it's going to break out. I do not know if it's going to hold. I don't know if it's going to come up here, get rejected at that 50 like it did last time, and then just come back in this pattern and dump down lower. I would think it maybe do that because they seem to like to do that a lot. What makes you think this time should be different? Last time we had that little cross of the 9 over the 21 here. Boom, we got a nice little move there. We went from where we cross in there up about another 5 to 7%, depending on where you measure that little guy from. Might we do that again here over this weekend and see a nice little pump up? What if we get 5%? Where would that take us? Right around where we were before. About last Saturday. No, I'm sorry, last Sunday. And maybe this Sunday, that's where we'll be back up again. And then what did they do the week? They dumped us down, and that's where they get paid. So maybe, or maybe we go higher. I don't know. We don't know, but that's a good sign. Altcoins, I predict, will be a pumping and then jumping a little bit over the weekend. And I plan to hopefully take a little bit of more profits, so that when we do come back down or level out or some other bad news comes over, that maybe I can buy more and build up some of those bags of those altcoins a little bit. I'm not sold on them very much. Let me come to the chat, say hello to everybody, and we'll start getting into a lot of the stuff here. Crypto Cassidy, do you have better cover than Turkey Head? Tired of looking at it all this year. Try an elephant, or maybe you're a bull or a bear. Don't tempt me. I'll go back to being a zombie. That's where I was before. Everybody likes turkey, though. I started out we'll go back old school, because I don't mind mixing it up a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not seen the original, oh my gosh, get ready. Here we go. And this is what we started out as. All right, so for you, Crypto Cash, I'll give you something better than a turkey head. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Turkey or I guess I'm a zombie weirdo gothic rock zombie. I'm actually a voodoo doll, but hey, I'll go with zombie. Let's do a little poll. Let's get an opinion. This is how I got stuck with the turkey head. So, you know, you guys loved it, so I went with it. And it is expressive. It can be a lot cool. The eyes, the mouth, and everything. It's comical. So, 5 memberships by Ryan K. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I'll give you more clappy hands there. Salto became a sponsor. Thank you very much, my man. You got a membership from, okay. You got one of the memberships. Dave P, you got one. UMG Motorsports. Current using fibs on a gas trade. Gas USD made $11 so far. Hit tape. Oh, my man. There you go. Hey, how's that one been doing? Let's check on gas. That one is gas for neon. And it surprisingly, it can do pretty good. What are you at now? That's crazy. That's at $3. And that's down? No way. Oh, you did didn't you? Surprisingly, this little guy, now Neon, or Neo. And I'm pretty sure I got the right one. I'll double check here in a second. This is Neo, which was like the Chinese Ethereum a couple of cycles ago. This is the one that my mentor, he talked about forever. There's like 2 trades that he talked about where he made big money. And I think most of it was made from Trading Group, but the big trades that he mentioned, BNB and Neo. If you listen close and read in between the lines, that tells you a lot right there about where all the real money came from. Not that there was anything bad about it. He wasn't claiming that he made all his money from trading, but he did mention those. It was pretty apparent that where the money came from, and I think people were cool with it because he didn't claim to make it from trading altogether. But Neo itself is down, but the gas. From what I've seen, this one seems to be one of the best plays. And look, she got up to $28. Let's make sure I'm talking about the right one here. Let's go CoinMarketCap and make sure it's on the right chain. Make sure yeah, that should be it. There are 64, just right under 65 million of these. So the scarcity of it has a lot to do with it. This pays for the gas fees on that coin that's also just a few dollars higher. Make sure that, yeah, Neo is a powerful blockchain platform that uses smart contracts to digitize and automate asset management. Features 2 native tokens, Neo for governance, that's why it's a freaking governance, and gas for network usage. So gas would be the one to play unless you just want to be a governance token. This has been around for a while. I don't know if they're doing anything or... This one's a Chinese, like the Chinese Ethereum is what it was pegged as before. And I'm kind of curious. Oh, here's dApps. I want to see what kind of apps you got. I have not looked at this one in forever. But, you know, China has their own little thing going on. Flamingo, I remember that one coming out on Binance. Yeah, I lost a lot of money on that one. Neo Burger, oh my gosh. Top dApps. What are the top dApps over on Neo? What are they doing these days? What have they got going on? I reject you all. Colony Ants, meme tokens, AI puzzle matrix, AI agent puzzle solving game. They do have some stuff going on over there, don't they? And at one point, one narrative was that Neon was going to be a dead chain or something, but it looks like, you know, they got some things going on. They got AI. They've been working over there. I mean, you can check in on the GitHubs and stuff like that. But that one had a narrative a couple of cycles ago, and you can definitely, I mean, all-time high for this guy was, really? I didn't know that. January 15, 2018, this thing had an all-time high of $97. and its all-time low was 5 years ago when it got to 59 cents. This one might be an interesting play to put on your radar, especially if she's down in some areas. The lowest she's got down to is what, about, this was 22. This was years ago. What's she got in this past year or so? The lowest she's got down to was oh yeah, you did too. You went right back down there. She went down to about 179, 180 right there. What do you tell me? $1.76. So she's done a 2x from there, but look what she's done. Out of 2 weeks, this was November 20, the second top of the bull run. She got up to $29 back in 2021 in April. That first high ran up to 40. Is that right? No, that's 2021. Yeah, and then okay, this was this year, or not this year, 2023, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. So in the December, when everything else ran up, it was up to about $7. So not as impressive there, huh? So I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of a lottery play, but she's at an area might be worth looking at if she takes a nice little dump. Right now, she's making higher highs and higher lows. Close to the trend line. If it can get closer to 330, 335, 340, if it comes back in that area, that would be an area to look at trying to snag some. She's trying to take off right now. That's pretty cool. I haven't looked at this one in a long time. That's an interesting one to play though. I used to have some of this. I used to have some neon in a wallet and to generate gas, and that's how I got my gas. All right, so I've got a line up here. What do we got? Where do we think this one will go right now? I'm just going to try to take a look. We just fib her out and see how she's doing. 458 looks really good. That 0.5 Fibonacci area. That's where we need to really focus on. That's a nice little support resistance flip. So she's got a little bit more, probably a little bit more steam. I think enough to get us up there. Looking for 3 humps and then a dump as just a general rule. We talked about this in the in chart school tonight, and it could just come up and do a little guy like this and double top, and that's be your 3 humps, or it could go higher. But usually, just as a rule of thumb, once you got a good established trend line, keep an eye out for 3 humps, and then your little dump, and then see what happens. Sometimes I drag out the little Elliott wave indicator just to help me, see if he's got anything to share about that. Which apparently you don't at the moment, Elliott. Oh yeah, you do. You think you already hit a 5 wave? I think you've been... This looks weird to me. I'm not agreeing, but sometimes I don't agree with him. That's why we don't hang out anymore, Elliott. I'm just letting you know.
Man, it's a hot one.
All right, let me come back to the chat, see what we're talking about. Logan's Angel says, "Hey, Road Dog, love your show." I love that comment. That comment's awesome. Yeah. Even as a voodoo, I'm used to saying it as a turkey. It looks different when I say it as a turkey.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Ryan K says, "I bet viewership and subs go up when the market goes parabolic, hopefully later this year." I hope it does, but I don't know. I'm way behind on this. 4 screens. What? I've got a tablet if you want to count that as a 4th screen. It's not really though. I just use it when I'm streaming. I got 3 that I use. 2 mostly that I use. I use the 3rd one when I stream. It's my TV. It's got to go right there. It's kind of big. It's too big to use for a monitor. Kelly says the Bitcoin dominance is on a tear. It is, but it's at resistance area, so maybe they'll stick. They need to. Oh my gosh, because if it goes parabolic, oh my gosh, odds are hurt. Kelly said Toshi made some moves today. We'll start writing some of these down. I think I pretty much went over my stick on Bitcoin. We'll probably come back to Bitcoin and look at it and all that stuff too. I try to do that before the night's over, but is this button working? Thank you, Stream Elements. You're freaking thing. You're always right on it, right? Can we do that now? Now will you work? Sometimes this works, sometimes it does not. Apparently I gotta pick every... Now it worked. Okay, so I put the little request button down there, and I will, if I come back, I'll make a note of any coins that are listed under there. So right now I see Toshi. Strong Short Sales says storms will be moving through this weekend. Oh yay! I hope they're not in my area. I think we had that last weekend. I didn't like it. Made me feel very kind of ugh. Ryan K says like. I like the way you're talking there, my man.
For those of you out there that have been hitting that like button, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
Strong Short Sales says Road Dog, would you be okay if I guessed your age? Go for it. CryptoCast says, okay, do a bullhead for the bull market. We're not a bunch of turkeys. Well, I haven't found a good bullhead. I don't have a big selection of faces anymore because the app technically that I'm using for this is they discontinued it, and so this is kind of like a janked up version of it, and there's no new stuff coming in, and I don't have the ability to create the new stuff on this. So until I find some kind of AI thing that will let me design my own faces or something, kind of stuck with what I got. But I got some favorites. Yeah, we can party. Hide your girlfriend. And not only that, I can be the whole band too. I can. That's not it. That's not it. Maybe I can't. Apparently, I'm not the whole band anymore. Dude, that used to be the band. Oh man, are you on? All right, well, screw that. I guess we're stuck with Gene Simmons. Then I got this dude, which, not much better. This dude's kind of cool. You can see where I kind of go gothic, and then I'm very surprised to be a turkey too, to be honest with you. I could be anonymous and keep you guessing. I can also be a little skeletal, or I can just be a dog. That's an idea. We hang out with the dogs for a little while. Okay, so I saw Toshi. We'll get to some. How long are we going? 47 minutes. And I think Joe, this is 11:18. Joe might be streaming tonight. Let me get the chat out here again. Somehow that went away. Oh man, we got something going on here. Turkey or Gothic Rock Zombie? 57% say turkey. 43% say zombie. Oh man, I never did change you, did I? Some of these I have not. Oh my gosh! Yeah, there's my guitar playing vampire. Oh, there's my very elated turkey. Well, this was the original. Ryan says NKN. So we got Toshi, NKN. Strega says turkey dog. Whoops, I'm missing some here. Let me back up. Here we go. Strega says weekend is approaching quick. Jim Derringer says, I don't necessarily like Powell, but if Trump rails against the Fed, I will immediately exit every market. Fed own big money, and big money will retaliate on behalf of the Fed. Only major concern. Well, they have been known to do a lot of retaliation. If you consider JFK as part of that, and McKinley, I think it was McKinley back in the day. The ones that went against him kind of regretted it. Kelly says, let your hair down. Yeah. MG Motorsports says, I got stopped out, was in profit, so happy with that. Cool. I've been getting stopped out a lot, trying to trade some of the chop. It's just not been worth it. So Popcat Popcat's been making some moves. Popcat XLM. I wish I hadn't faded that one. Wish I'd kept my little. Kind of wish I'd kept my little bag of XLM. Happy Friday, MG Motorsport. Today is Good Friday, or this coming day was Good Friday over here. Strong Short. It's so much easier when you were just so, but Strong Short So says, yeah, rain is sleeping weather. Age, 48. Well, thank you. I'll take that. Striker says, I saw a little jump today, but didn't last long. Ryan says, the dog face makes me feel uncomfortable. I think it was Celinda that really kind of pushed for the turkey, and then everybody really kind of liked it. And the turkey can be fun. The turkey can be fun, but it's kind of the only thing, it doesn't fit in with the direction that I was. It doesn't make sense a lot. Well, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense really. You think about it. I got a road behind me for a road dog with an alien. We got aliens. We got roads. We got dancing people in the streets, which that doesn't really go together. I'm an eclectic channel, I guess. And then we got Rocky Horror Picture Show intros. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just a mixed bag of something. Oh, now you're just guessing. I still feel 5 years old at heart. That's what really matters. I feel like I'm still a little kid inside, just forced to grow up. And I didn't want to. I did not want to grow up. I was like, no, I want to stay a kid forever. Being a kid, you got it made. What up, bro dog? Hope everyone's liking it on the charts tonight. It's killing it on the charts tonight. Hopefully we'll get a... Road Dog's age is 61.8 or 0.618. All right, so we got some coins to look at. Let's start. Oh, I'm not on Top Chat. Or I'm on Top Chat, not on Live Chat. So Turkey. Uh-oh. Look what happened here. Zombies winning out. Zombies got 55% now. Turkey's got 45. Wow. Strong says, I'm 45. Ryan says, love the turkey. Mixing everything up is what makes this channel great. I can mix it up. Maybe we can you know, we can keep flipping around. I've been a turkey for quite a while, pretty steadily. And I don't mind. And used to, I just switch them up a lot, but the turkey started really sticking. And is it can stand? 21. Glad to have you here, my man. All right, let's take a look at Toshi. Let's look at the market. I'm still on CoinEX. Let's go with the main things we got here. Toshi, what's up? Well, she went on a ride. Whew. And that was still just 0.0023 cents. That's amazing that even at the tops on here. That's just February though. This is, where am I at? You've been around longer than February. Where else we got? Let's get a good chart here. Coinbase MXC it should have been the best one. We'll go with this one. Here we go. Here's the complete history. Just don't have any volume on this chart. This is the TradingView chart. So that's amazing. Its all-time high was January of this year. Was it really? How did I miss that? Or did I didn't realize that we were there. It seems like I thought I got, when was this? This was March. It seemed like I had a bigger return on it back here than, maybe it's because I moonbagged it and it didn't go up as, I don't know. I did moonbag that little sucker when she had the first rise up. I've been in Toshi for a little while. And just have added to my moonbag since she's been down at these lows again. And so that way, if she goes to get back up here, it's only 0.0023 cents. Isn't that amazing? We're at 0.00031. What is that? That is 3 3/100ths of a penny on this guy. And she got up to a little over 2/10 of a penny. But talk about a come up. I mean, let's say from where we are now back up to there, that's about a 6x. And so $100 in turns into, $600. That's cool. There's definitely been some gains on it. But what are we doing now? Well, with this one up here, pulling my fibs is going to give us a crazy first target to even look at. So we'll have to scale her down, but I do want that crazy first target. And that one's going to level out 0.0007 cents, which is pretty much about a 2x from where we are now. And then by my fib strategy, we need to get there. That's the one worth waiting for. And we'll probably bounce our head up there, get rejected, and then have to work our way through it, and then eventually come up to this 0.001 area. And just keeping those two ideas on this big picture from where we topped out here in January to where we bottomed. Deep retracement there, by the way. That's some pretty good gain. So this being underneath this 236 Fibonacci area, when I pull it from high to low, that means in about 6 months or whenever, months from now, we look back, cross our fingers, and say, man, I should have really picked up a lot of it when it was under 0.0007 cents. That's where all the smart people got in. That's how I read that. Because once you start getting up here toward the 618, that's when you think, oh man, this got a 2x already, 3x, 4x, whatever. So from where we are now to that first target is about, that's a moon bag. That's 114%. And to the second level would be 200%. So I know it's a meme coin. I think it's Brian Armstrong's cat. But she's doing something very interesting right now. She is rounding out, and I'm just going to shoot straight with you. A lot of times when you see this happen, it's a big ass accumulation when we start getting these rounded type bottoms, and it looks cool. We might be working. I look for this when we do these. I look for these shapes. I look for a falling wedge or channel, and then I start looking for one that starts going up like this. And when I start seeing that happen, and it may take a while to may have to feel this out, then I'm really watching for something that can catch. But I've learned to put this together as when it comes to rounding bottom. But so I'm liking this, but remember, we can also come down and we can do all this too, because they can do a little butt crack or a bigger butt crack. We make a rounded bottom, and rounded bottoms usually have that butt crack. And it's usually one of them, like a Gartley or some kind of harmonic fib. A lot of times it just takes us back down to where we were before. So it's accumulation. This is where a lot of whales slowly accumulate. But what we can do is kind of just fib her out and see the areas. We see we lost our 618. Okay, let's check this little guy out. I like to just pull me in a 6-1. Ooh, nice little 618 bounce there. So we're looking at a possibility of coming up to these areas about right here. They're on the table. No guarantees, but if we do go up for a higher high, these are the places I'll be looking for. This is what we were talking about in chart school tonight. These particular targets. Anything else that makes me think that might happen? Well, we do have our trend lines, and I'm going from candle bodies to candle bodies. Now that's got me a little concerned, because depending on how you're drawing it, are you below the line or beneath? Are you beneath it or below it? So a little subjective, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt, and we'll go from candle bodies to candle bodies. Sometimes I like to see if I got any respecting angle on any of these ideas. There might be something there. Might be. We'll keep our eye on it. If so, then it suggests that we'll come up here possibly just a wee fractions of a cent. Fibonacci, do you have anything to tell me about that area? You do. You also have a 618. We bounced off a 618, and so I mentioned this in chart scope, but that does put a 618 on the radar again. So for a short-term target, I would be looking at this little guy. There's another target higher. I didn't point him out. I should have. If we are going to make a lower high, I would be looking at these guys. Currently, that's coming under. What are we on, an 8-hour time frame? It's a weird ass time frame, but. And then possibly this area. I think I'm just going to draw a line. And that's what 0.0004 would be the upper end of that. So I'm kind of looking for. I think this one would be a great place to get rejected off of, and that lines up with the candle bodies over here too on this particular time frame. She's still got some things to work out, but looks like she's regaining that 9 moving average. Just come down to the smaller time frame to see what she's got. You also got, you know, a trend line that kind of janky, but we can connect it as much as we can. Candle bodies to candle bodies, the most candle bodies is what I'm looking for. So looks like we got a breakout, possibly a retest, and then flagging out above it. Those are some good signs. I'm seeing some good signs that this one wants to possibly continue moving, even if she has to come back and retest a little bit on the smaller time frames. So 15 looks like she wants to come back and probably come down here, retest these areas, and then maybe we can get a bounce from there. There's also trend lines through here. If I had to guess just by trend lines, it looks like we could come back down to this 0.00031 area. Could come down that low. Look over to the left and you can see that that's right over here, support resistance area. And I always recommend, I may not say it enough, but I always recommend looking to the left. Every time I'm using a Fibonacci, every time I'm doing anything, I'm looking to the left and I'm seeing how it also lines up with support resistance. And that gives you a good clue. That one there, look, you just carry it over and you can see that was support. It was support here, and then it started becoming resistance, and definitely was resistance here. That's a great area to come back and retest. Beautiful area. Now probably if we fibbed it out, there might be a fib level there. Anytime but when I do it. You suck, road dog. There's not a dang fib there. Well, let me pull one up to where it does match. Oh, look, right there. Actually, it does match there. From the very top to the very bottom in the 236. That actually lines up with what we talk about here a lot. So I'm just going to put you right there on that line then. So you just back test it to make it fit. No, actually, that's what we do from impulse move. Well, I didn't do it down there in market, and that's one reason why I like to use fibs. Fibs are miraculous. So cool. Toshi looks kind of interesting. Let's go with NKN. Where's it going to go? Oh yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that. I say we can work our way up there on Toshi. That'd be a whole whopping 17% gains. Woohoo! NKN, new kind of network. Let's see how she's doing on Binance. Looks good. Nice. She's coming up. Cool. I'm on the 15-minute. Let's zoom out. Looks like she's trying to bottom out there. What do we got going on here? This is the one we're having to wait on. Let's see. I know what that is. I'm not. Is that a 786 from a big or what? Well, I gotta zoom out and get my bearings on this one. This one, definitely tricky AF. Because she could come all the way back down to 0.0039, God forbid. It could. I'm hoping it does. Ooh, that looks... There's been a lot of sales going on in this one lately. From where it was at 3.8 and we're at what, 1.7? That's what sucks about these coins, man. You see them get down to their bottoms. Like, oh man, she got down to 4 cents. Surely it can't go lower. Look at the crazy gains though. 200%. Well, if you bought the flag to the upside, which a lot of people try to sell at some points, 92% from there down. So when you buy in bottoms, I mean, you gotta be cautious about it. There's still room to get wrecked. That looks sad. So she's going to have to work to get past this 8.5 cent area. There's going to be a lot of work to get past that. She's got her challenges, I'll tell you that. I think we pulled a fib from here to here to gauge some of these areas down here. The 1272, which is, oh, that what? Why are you the wrong color? You're a 786 from something else. So there's some confidence on that one, but it wasn't the bottom. Let's take this one off because I'm not sure what you are just yet. So I'm trying to zoom out here. And we retrace so much that we're actually having to look at these support resistance areas for the bodies and the wicks, and I'm on the weekly. If we go to the daily, what does that look like over there? We'll put that one right underneath this little wick there, and we got right there at that little wick. And come over here, and we're close. We may be, I mean, we seriously may be dropping all the way down there just to double tap that sucker. Did we break another trend line? Yeah. That was the steep one too. I mean, your other options do not look any more beneficial. She really had a sell-off. So, I mean, this is a tricky place to accumulate. So you can accumulate if you got conviction and everything, but I don't see our bottom area unless we recover this red line that I just drew right there. She's in a falling channel. Now, it's a bullish thing. Eventually, she's going to break out of her little trend lines. And let's see if we can come down to the smaller time frame and see what kind of noise we got. Let's see what they're talking about here. Let's go candle bodies to candle bodies, extend that out. So I find this interesting. So this is a bullish channel. It's just like you just don't know how far she will stay in this channel until she decides to break out. And she is starting to level out, so that's a first good sign. She's done it before and lost it. So you did respect that line, didn't you? Okay, now we got something to work with. We got something to work with now. Smaller time frames. Yeah, see, we went 4014 on our butts. Now, for you guys that were in chart school earlier tonight, and I talked about a fib, which I don't use. It's the 0.707. Yeah, it's in between the 618 and the 786. We talked about the areas for that. One that I did not put in there was the 1.414 for this little guy, but it's not one that I ever used. But sometimes when I'm back engineering and going over when I see that I get to a 414, kind of like what we are here too, it makes me want to go back and check these little guys, such as maybe from here down to here. And then when I do that, our last swing up was from that 0.5. I find that interesting. So we can say, well, no, we can't. We're trying to get a little breakout of this little trend line. She's trying to do something over here. I just don't know if this is going to be the bottom or not. It's possible, maybe. That was a 414. Let me paint him green and give him on something else so I know he's a little different. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm not convinced, but it's showing at least something. It was, as soon as we start seeing some higher highs and higher lows, that's when you know that we're onto something. So when we start seeing some stuff like this, when we start doing some of that, then we can feel better about it. Right now, we're still in catching up all in knife territory, which, yeah, admittedly I do a lot. I play that game a lot. It's probably why I'm attracted to those fib levels. All right, so this one we got to, but that's looking strong here on the 4 hour. We come down to the 15. She's trying to rock it. She's really trying to do something. She's ooh, nice little ribbon flip. Short term, she's looking good. And you may have been asking for short term. Short term, we got a little ribbon flip there. Let's put our bigger ones on here. I forgot to put them back on. Not you, Elliot. Okay, bigger moving averages, even here on the smaller time frame. They're working on it. So, and she made a higher high here. She may be trying to do something. That's a nice little W pattern right here on the 15-minute. I'll give you that. She may come back to this. She doesn't have to, but she may eventually come back down and retest this area at 0.001617. So let's see if we can break back up here. This would be the thing that I'd like to see her get back up there. We can take a fib from here to there to kind of gauge her, and she's already broke past this line, so cool. And we just kind of gauge her health until we get back up to this. On this one, it'll be the 618 territory, which then they interlock. Great area for it to get rejected at, right up here at 0.019. So maybe she's got another 7% in her, and then maybe we get a bottom pattern or something is what I'll be looking for. We'll keep our eye on this one. It's starting to look a little interesting, but I wish I could call it a bottom yet, but I just don't know. Possible, but she could still go lower. She is trying to do something local. That's the point I'm trying to get across there. Take a look at PopCat. 24 people hanging out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'll give you guys a hand clappy. I need more light with this one.
All right.
Woo.
Yes.
All right, so PopCat. Let's take a look at PopCat. What you got going on, PopCat? The juicy love spot. This is on the 15-minute chart. We've dipped down. We made a W pattern in the juicy love spot. When's the last time you made a W in the juicy love spot? That just sounds wrong. That sounds so weird. Okay, so the top of the W, I find this interesting, is the retest of this W. We just got lots of little W's here. W's are good. So we got a W double bottom here, an atom, however you want to classify that. It's a nice little area. We lost that one. We lost them before and regained it. And if you're just looking at support and resistance areas, that's a pretty nice place for this to bounce, wouldn't you say? Just retesting the top of this, retested it here, come back and doing a final retest because, you know, she kind of gave it up and regained it here. So it makes sense that we would tap it one more time to make sure it's a solid footing before we try to go up. So I like that idea if it holds. Can it hold? Moving averages suggest that it's got a pretty good chance to hold. Even though we're below the 15-minute moving average. I mean, that's bearish, but we can snap back from this one. All the moving averages are looking, most of them are looking pretty healthy, that we could come back. Also, if we do our fib, we'll probably see that we got a 786 area. Oh, go right up there. So that's also a nice little bouncy bottom place. So I'd be looking for maybe PopCat bouncing here at 24 cents. And when were you over here? That was just earlier today. Okay, so earlier today she got up as high as 27. I'm on the 50-minute time frame. And look at the areas that come into play. Our negative 272 area comes in right at our 618 area. And there's confluence right there, so that makes a great target. 28 cents, I think we're heading back there. Could go higher. If I wanted to kind of guess where we could go, where did you reject? 618 mostly? it's best to zoom out before making those predictions. We got our, oh, well, it looks like we already did all this. Okay. So we got a measure move for Popcat over here at 43 cents as a breakout from this falling wedge. We did break out. Looks like we mostly retested it. It could still come back and retest 21 or lower. It can still do that. We hope that it doesn't. It looks like it's trying to flag out above this and start working its way up. And hopefully we'll get up there. But these are the other targets we got for Popcat. 40 cents and 43, and then what's this one? 40, right at 45 for the top. With the measure move, because I like to do measure moves too, from here just straight down. Applied a breakout. I guess we can double check and make sure that we're still correct on that. And takes us right up there. Probably can adjust it just a hair. And please notice that when I take my measure moves, you know, there's a method to it. And some of the people teaching measure moves do them very wildly, very different. And sometimes I don't know where they get them from. And they put them in places before a breakout even occurs, leave them there, and in the process they're moving them all around, and that just defeats the whole purpose. I don't. That's someone make that make sense to me. Measured moves are measured, therefore you wouldn't want to screw it up, right? You wouldn't want to take it and skew it. You'd want it to try to be as accurate so you can have it as accurate as a target, because a measure move is kind of help you find the pivot point of reversal. That's the idea of the measure move, a target that we could actually reliably get to in most cases, because they're not perfect, but they do fairly well. And so when I see people take them and do crazy stuff, because sometimes I do, and I try not to spend too much, but I've seen some crazy stuff, right? Where, you know, we look at this as being a flag. Look, it's a flag. It's a falling wedge. And technically your measure move would be the falling wedge measure move, which you put at the breakout, and then it gets you, you know, it didn't even hit it. It didn't even hit it. And especially if you did it like you know, I've seen something crazy like this, and they'll put it there, but you know, the months later they'll come back and see, we gave that target to you, and how, you know, but that is luck more than actual science in there. If you were going to play that as a flag, and I don't see it as a flag, I see it as a falling wedge, yeah, that would have you honestly, the way I see it is an AB equals CD move. And we also talked about this in chart school too. And that's where, that is where you would take this and you would apply this down here. And then this is the target we would have got at 113. I can see how someone would make an argument, well, look, we put it here and it came right up to it. But ideally, when you get the measure move, that's an area that you will see you will see something significant happen there. Maybe it did. But one that would not be accurate would be to take it from way down here. This target down here doesn't really have anything to do with that for a measure move. But I see that being taught a lot. And if they do something like, well, look, we came right up to it, you know, I mean, you did, but that's not the way to do that, or to expect those results all the time. It's just, you know, people interpret these markets different. Maybe I'm being too skeptical on some of them. This is a nice shallow falling wedge, according to Thomas Bukowski, who I think is the GOAT on pattern trading because he did all the research behind it. And I respect his work. There's some of it that I don't always agree, like Head and Shoulders. I got a few little bones to pick with him on necklines on Head and Shoulders, and that's just me and from my experience and what I play. Sometimes he's a little iffy on some of that too, but he's basically the GOAT to go for pattern trading, patternsite.com. I got a nice little ribbon flip going on here with Popcat. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think we can start looking at 28 and then into the 30s and hopefully up to 40 cents there. Let's take a look at XLM. We are at 11:50, and I got to check back with the chat and see if Joe's going live here in a few minutes. XLM is at 24 cents. That's a lot better than being 20 cents, but it's a lot better than being at 12 cents where it's stuck forever between 9 and I think it was this range. This is when I'm like, I can't stand being in this thing anymore. She stayed at 12 cents for ever. 12-cent range, sometimes going up to 20. Woo! But mostly just hanging around 12 cents until she came down to 8 or 9. And then from there, she really popped up, man. 63 cents. That's quite impressive for this one. I'm gonna clear everything off of this one. And here's where she topped out 2021 at 80 cents. So at 24 cents, is this a bad deal? No, it's probably a pretty good price to DCAN, because apparently she will want to come back up to these 63 cent areas over the next 8 months. If there's one that's going to do it, I think that this one has a good chance of doing it. So where? Oh, you did. You already hit that one. 1975. If Stellar Lumens can get back down here between 14, I doubt that it does, and 19 are basically 20 cents, I think that's a juicy buy zone. And we may just tap it here and go on, you know. We tested the 100 and we seem to be respecting that. Juicy buy zone. I might be tempted to get back in this one too. Listen, the big boys have got plans for this one, and they've had plans. They've just been waiting for the regulation to come in and pave the way for them, and that's where we are in this market. So I would expect these guys to finally come into their season that we've been waiting for. XRP and XLM. It's in a nice falling wedgie right there. And if we do our AB equals CD, it's suggesting that if that's where our bounce point is, we could be heading up to 77 cents there. You didn't square up, did you? Did I screw that up? I probably screwed up my measure maybe on that one. I think I went from the very, very bottom over here. Let's do it from the actual impulse move. So we're looking up here close to this 0.0272 area. Now it's being off a little bit because I think of the way that I pull my fibs there. There we go, 272. That one actually worked out, I didn't mention this in chart school, but there's sometimes I'll do this, and if they don't come out right, if I got to, I got to go back over and tweak them and make sure that I'm not off on things. Because these things should square up. They shouldn't be far off. They should kind of square up, kind of like when you square up corners on a room, or you're, with carpentry or something, you're squaring something up. WD was big on squaring price and time, and there's something to be said about that. That was one way he is able to put price with a specific date and even up to a specific time, as meaning hours, or sometimes even up to the minute. He was a pretty amazing trader that really ran down a rabbit hole of a lot of secrets there, and a lot of them that he took to his grave, or very few people know them. They ain't sharing them. But he figured something out. He broke the freaking key to the market. I'm convinced of that. So I like to jump down his rabbit holes whenever I can. They're just, man, they're deep. They can get freaking deep. All right, so Stellar, I think it's kind of cool. I would love to see it come back down here. If she doesn't, if she starts breaking out of here, 26, 27 cents, that might be a buy, and there could be a little bit What kind of gains could we were talking about 70 something cents. But we're probably around 200% gains to make it to that higher high target. Anywhere in between, you should be able at least to get about another 50% out of it from where we are now. I like it. I'm starting to look at it a little bit more. Okay, so wow, we're back to the poll, and the turkey's only getting 33%. Did the turkey finally wear out his welcome? The zombie is getting 67%. Oh, you guys are starting to. I like being the zombie, to be honest with you. I like being the turkey too. Well, that makes me doesn't feel as bad about being a zombie more often. Cool. Thank you for that. 21 votes. So out of 21 people, got 27 of you here. Everybody has not voted. You guys seem to like this face. You're kind of cool seeing this one a little bit. I mean, it's either this or we can get, we could get Elvis out here to do something. Or we could get Sean. Sean likes to come out every once in a while. Yeah, let me see Sean. Hey, how's it going? I'm almost as cute as that turkey. Look at these big old eyeballs. or we can let Junior come out. That's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, Daddy. Or we can just be the zombie. All right. I'm not going to end the poll just yet. Glitty Marshmallow, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your support. I am 100% crowdfunded. This is probably a good time to shield the old Tangem wallet with the little code word that's sliding around, DAWG. Hard to forget, dog. You can save 10% on anything that you purchase over your Tangem wallets. Oh, look, they got some new stuff or not? So all this is 10%. Are they 10% off and then another 10%? That's pretty cool. We got our, with our 10%. You get 10% off of all of them. They got the 2-card set, and that just knocks it down from $54 to $49. They got the Tangem ring. That one's, I still want one of those. That's kind of cool. They got the 3-card sets, and they're down to 53. And this is, I use them. And they're cool. Very easy to use, very convenient, and very secure. I wish they would sell them in sets of 10. That way you could mix and match. You could have five 2-card wallets, or you could have a various anywhere from 3 to 5 wallets, just depending on, and a spare, just depending on how you wanted to set it up. I think they should do that. That would be cool. All right, let me come back to the chat. We got Dingo Dango from Dave P. Poolin says, Road Dog, where's the best place to learn about harmonic patterns? Are you familiar with butterfly harmonic? If so, can you go through with the Ethereum? It is not, I am not mastered harmonic patterns. It ties into what I do. They overlap, but I'm not sure exactly by the way that they teach. But the best person that I can recommend for harmonic patterns would be, I think the guy who came out with it actually has a YouTube channel and goes over stuff all the time. His name is Scott Carney. And let's go see if we can find him. This is Joe's channel, and I'm gonna give him a, oh man, it's about time for him to go on if he's going to go on tonight. So we're going to have to wrap up pretty soon, I think. Let me put Joe's channel in here. And Scott Carney, harmonic trading right there. He wrote the book on it, dude. I mean, he's definitely going to be a fib master, but he doesn't use the fibs, I don't think, to do it. They use the little tool which incorporates the fibs, and it overlaps, but I'm used to doing my stuff with fibs, so I don't want it to. He's the master for this. He does the and I don't watch him periodically, but I know he's the guy to go to. Learn harmonic price patterns such as the BAT, the Gartley, AB equals CD. That is what I use that plays a lot into what we do here is AB equals CD. The 50, he's the guy. Oh, you need to subscribe. Let me put his link out there too, because he's the GOAT. He's I think he's on Amazon with the books on it. What is this? Pattern different M and W structures. But he's the dude to go over on that. It's all about reading the M shapes and W shapes for harmonic pattern trading. That's basically what it boils down to, is these shapes and reading them. And basically what it does is they will take you back to when you take the A, or the X to A is what this would be. They end up with a 786 and 886 or 113 or 127. Some cases, all the things that I look at here with my harmonic, it plays right into it. It's just not, I don't do it by the same mindset. So I'm gradually looking over there to incorporate their mindset, but I don't want it to take over what I've got so far that's working for me. But there is overlap. It's worth going down that rabbit hole. But you just see people, you just see people do this all the time, and you're like, what the hell? How do you play that? How do you play that? And it's kind of like the Elliott Wave people. I mean, I'm sure they've got their ways to play it, but the way that I do fibs, it gives me an opportunity to make a play everywhere. I can play this, I can play this, I can play this, I can play these little guys, and I can play these guys and the retest. With the system that I'm using, that I'm used to using. But I definitely think it's a rabbit hole to go down. So Scott Carney would be your man for harmonic trading. He is the author of it, I believe. Well, not the author of it. Gartley was the first guy that came out with the concept, and that's where we got the Gartley pattern. Holy moly, he did closed caption. I love it. I didn't know it wasn't switched on. At some point it got switched off, and maybe it can understand the words that I say, hopefully. Diaz says, we like to change up with the zombie. Well, this was the original. This is like on, what was it? Should I do it? That was the original. Is this it? I'm going to switch over here real. It won't take long, but I'll show you. I used to do skits and things, to advertise for the like button, but this was the face. Let's see if we can do this real quick.
Guess what? I got a fever.
Alright, I may do it at the end of the stream. Oh no, we got all this stuff going on. I may do it later, but yeah, this is the original OG face. Or just on the weekends, maybe. Oh, well, maybe I'll just feel a little bit more free straight. I mean, I didn't always go straight with this. I would switch it up with other things too. I have Edward Scissorhands. Sometimes I'm Chad, which I think he looks more like a wrestler. Apparently, with the one likes to drink a lot with that red nose. Get the color corrections off for the zombie. I have to do some other. Or I could be the most interesting trader in the world, or the most interesting man in the world. Oh, I took Seagull off. Or I can be Mr. Asshole. But I've always liked the zombie. Bitcoin Bunny. MG Motorsports says not the ring, sadly. The Tangem. Get Tangem a kick, road dog, and get them to put your discount on the ring as well. It's not. I thought it was on the ring. It's not on the. It says it is. It's supposed to. What happened there? What? I just clicked it and everything went. Okay, so what if you actually? That's weird. Did that just get cheaper? But when I click, it says it gives you a discount, but when you click it, it does. Okay, that's what you're talking. I didn't know it did that. So they're still being picky about the rings, huh? So you get 2 cards and the ring. The ring is cool, but it's not necessary. It is kind of cool to have. Let's come back to the chat here. Joe says he's going to take the night off. No stream tonight. I'll do my bonus stream tomorrow, more than likely. Okay. Haven says zombie brings me luck. Well, cool. I'm glad you guys. Well, there for a while, I was thinking that the zombie was keeping my channel from growing because some people would, they didn't like the face, and there did seem to be a little bit more growth with the turkey for a while. So I leaned into it, and I like the turkey. The turkey's fun. He's funny, and we can get kind of crazy sometimes and stupid. But I'm very pleased that you guys aren't freaking out with the zombie. That we're cool with the voodoo doll guy coming. Is it really a voodoo doll or a zombie? But hey, close enough. I like the eyeballs. The eyeballs that glow. They didn't do it. They do it when they want it. I have no control over it. Pooh, there we go. All right, Alien, let it finish. What? All right, guys. Do we have any more coins requests that you want to take a look at? Look at altcoins. Look like they might want to be doing something over this weekend. It's going to be a tricky call between it and Bitcoin dominance because they don't like to go up together. But it does look like altcoins are trying to do a little something, right? There's Neo. So not the Neo token, the gas token is the one that really matters on Neo. That's good to know. So some of the guys that are looking up, let's go over here on the daily. And so far, I mean, we're up 2%, 3% on some of these on average. And so we're starting to see a little bit become, oh, FET's on, you're on here again? Where are you at right now? You were at 38 cents and you went up to 50. You were at 38 last cent. That's pretty good for FET. Fartcoin is down. What's up with Fartcoin? Is this a time to pick up some Fartcoin? This might be a time to pick up some Fartcoin. Not really. This is on the 3-day. She still looks kind of high, don't she? Oh, nice. So there's a red line. That's a. You're a 236 on the bigger pull, aren't you? Fartcoin's looking interesting right now. So is there a short here? I don't know if I would trust shorting it. I mean, it looks like it wants to entice you into it because she's got a head and shoulders here on the bigger time frames. A possible head and shoulder or triple top. We could look at it as a triple top. They both be correct. Basically, you got an area. Depending on how you want to define it, you're in a channel of distribution, more than likely, for this little guy, 95 cents. And she came from 37. Lots of people taking profit here. Big red cloud that we're trying to go into. She could be coming down at least the width of the channel. That's one way to look at it. The easiest way to look at it. Same as the head and shoulders, basically. Take us down here to this area, which would retest these areas over here. Personally, I just like to fib them out. And yeah, I would look at that zone, the 0.5 to maybe down to the 618. Notice this, we're on the 4-hour, 200 moving average, 100 moving average is kind of sandwiched in between those areas too. So to me, and looking to the left and seeing the support that we have to the left, makes sense that we might actually come down to about 60 cents on this guy. What else is happening here? We've got Lucy bearishly trying to, and lazily trying to cross over this 800 moving average. So that might be enough to get us down at least in about this 70 to 67 cent area here at the top. So Fartcoin, that looks, so are you going to come down on the weekend while everybody else, or are you just going to fake everybody else out? Let's see what you're doing. Oh no, she ain't trying to move. She ain't trying to catch here, is she? So she started ranging, and then all the moving averages started coming up and collecting around her. We see that happen. And then finally here on the 1 hour, the 200 got up there and she made her decision. That's usually what I find when we go through these accumulations or reaccumulations or distributions, when we start, ranging at a top area, you usually see it happen with the moving averages on, starts on the smaller time frames, and sometimes, and usually by the time they get to the 1 hour, there's usually a reaction there at the 200. I see it a lot, not every time, but a lot of times I see that, and that's when there's, finally a reaction that will come. Sometimes I would see it happen on the 15-minute with the 200, but that happened way over here. So, and technically, I guess it did with the 200 got up there. She did come down. But those are just some little things I look for when we start going sideways at a top. I watch how the moving averages accumulate and everything. Also, trend lines. Trend lines are very important to watch through there. Trend lines are actually, I think, the best way to tell you when to get out of something. As a last resort. Well, you're kind of hard to read here with the trend line too, aren't you? Here we got a possible inverted head and shoulder. The one thing that I like to mention about this pattern is this one has a very high probability of price coming down to retest the breakout area. That puts us right back down, smack down in these zones right down here at 60 cents for oh snap, did that backwards. For what is this, fart coin? So I will be looking over the next few days to see if Fartcoin can actually drop down here. I would be tempted to short it, but I wouldn't trust it. The moving averages here they're strong. So I think she can probably fall down here and then have a nice little bounce. That's interesting. Actually, I have an alert. I'm trying to get better with my alerts since they've been actually working lately. I want to put one right here. So I go up here and I hit this little button, and I have a bad habit when these alerts go off, I turn them off and ignore them. I'm trying to get out of that habit, but they annoy me when they go off and I get pissed and I'm like, I don't want to look at you right now, I'm doing something else. And it went off today on one of them. Well, I cannot remember what this is called. There was a stock that we looked at, and I was trying to bring it up, but I'm just going to give up on it. I'll figure out what it is and bring it up next time. There's a stock we looked at. It went down for a little while, but she's come back up. And I thought that was one that Jim mentioned. It's starting to do pretty decent, or starting to show some signs of doing some upside there. I thought I'd look at that real quick. What else have we got real quick over here? That seems to be doing good. Render, are you doing all right? You were suffering there for a little bit. 275 to 390. That's a pretty good come up, Render. Makes my Render bags happy. Nice one. Well, I had a buy zone here, 382 and a 0.5. She went down apparently to a 618, I'm guessing, if I'm looking at my fibs right. A lower 618. She went a little deeper than what I had anticipated. I want to clear these off. Take into account our new information, because I haven't looked at this one in a while according to these fibs. It's been a few weeks. So if we go from swing low to very swing high. Oh, you came down way down here. So not a perfect match. We will count that, because that is the bulk of our move, so we can. Making a nice W, so we can go ahead and include that as our bottom. Now we can go from swing high to swing low. That is a nice W pattern trying to form there. Thing with W patterns, and we talk about it, is the neckline. And she's not cleared that yet. And you're not drawing it. Why are you not drawing? There we go. Now it draws it. Oh my gosh, just draw the line straight. She's trying. She's flagging out below it, so she needs to get above it. But it looks like 471. $6 looks interesting, but it looks like she might be able to get back above it and go to 7. I find that interesting. 800, 600, 300. That does bring these guys into the picture, though. Render's starting to look interesting to me. So if she clears the W bottom, that could be an entry. That's for that kind of trade. You want to make sure you wait for that confirmation. And where I'm at on the daily, we can probably come down to the 4 hour. See if we can make her out a little bit better. Just right up here. Well, are you not going to draw for me? Okay, then don't. Be that way. So basically, this once we clear like this neckline, it was about 426. It would be safer to look for an entry after that, in my personal opinion. Some people like to front run these patterns. I think the best people will try to buy at this double bottom area if you're looking for it and paying attention to it. There is also this idea here, which I like that. And according to this, we would be getting a possible breakout if you connect the dots with this and follow the rules of candle bodies to, well, going from here. So from this high down to this low, that's another valid way to start drawing your trend lines. Kind of ignores the V-shaped drop that kind of got out of hand. Well, actually, the coast of the candle body's over there too, doesn't it? Yeah, we can do that. That's even better. That's even better when it works out that way. So, depending on how you want to interpret this when it comes to trend lines, if you're following it from the get-go, you'd be looking at something like this, and this would be a fake out. And come back in, retest, and then go up, and that's the most valid way to look at it, in my opinion. But either way, now we would just be taking that into account. Either way you look at it, this is it's a bullish pattern, and she made her partial decline. That's what we look at for these megaphone patterns, is where they find a level. It's a great example, and made a double bottom, leveled out. That's her partial decline. Means that she came down to the bottom of the trend line here, but this time she didn't make it all the way back down to the bottom trend line. It was a partial decline, see? Usually at the same level, and that's usually right before they decide to break out. And we're also pattern within patterns, making a W within here. So that's another idea. This is just another level for validation. And so if she can get above this high here, that would be a safer place to enter. But it looks like she's trying to do something, and I can see this. That looks good for Render. She's going to have to she's got the struggle to go through, like all of them do. But it's nice to see them starting to do something, and have a little bit of hope behind them. DOZ, do you take your music request? Throw some rock on. Do I have the rock set up? If I mean, I don't have much control over them, but I can get like a genre that I've got a playlist on. And let's see what we got. I got a hard rock. I don't think these have been released yet. These might be a little too hard. I don't know. Then I've got metal, and those are definitely hard. And I don't play it too much because a lot of people it's just too much, too busy. So a lot of times you will hear me having more of the chill vibes going on or something like that, especially during the streaming. But we'll throw some rock on for a little bit. Goes with the zombie. MG Motorsport says, I feel that alert situation. Don't you be a beeping at me right now, damn it. That's exactly it. It does. And it doesn't shut up. And then, and I've got to set it that way or else I'll just, I won't hear it. But I don't react to the alerts good at all. I get pissed at them, and then it makes me not want to take advantage of them. It's all up, psychology. It's all up here, man. It's all, the trading is all psychology and altering habits. All right, so 33% And 60 versus 67%, we're going to call it in. We got 27 votes and 27 people. We're going to call it into that poll. The zombie wins. Cool. So the turkey will be making appearances for silliness. But I don't feel bad about coming on as a zombie. I wish kind of, you know, I thought I was just freaking people out too much. So the turkey's not gone, but we just keep mixing it up like we did before. RS Miller says, I'm seeing several alts that may move up tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, I'm seeing that too. And so I recommend taking profits on them. I don't think they're quite ready to stick just yet, but definitely there's some plays to be had there. We definitely can look for some trades over this weekend. It's a short term because I think they will try to be pumping us up and then to sell off on us like they usually do. No likes left over yet. Who killed Biddy? Says the Dusty Hunt. How's it going, Dusty? What is we haven't looked at Bitcoin in the last few minutes here. She's still hanging out. She's just boring. So 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. There's still resistance ahead up here. I've still got my targets over here. 85, 87, but we really need to get back to 89. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe, you know, we do some up, down, sideways or whatever. But we got to get up here past here. We need to make a higher high. And I don't see it happen on the weekend. I don't trust it to stick over the weekend. Maybe it can. This big thick cloud is something to keep an eye on, but the good signs that I'm seeing on it, she's turning up here and she's turning up here and getting a little thinner, and that can be bullish. That can be bullish. What I don't want to see is price get down and start touching this cloud. So she needs to start moving up soon, and maybe it will. Maybe it will. Let me come to a different chart here. This is COINEX. So we do have our 800, 600, and 300 moving average still bearishly aligned here, but it doesn't mean that we can't come up and start talking to these guys, and we need to. And this chart just tells me right off the bat that it's not as likely that we get past 93,000, although we can. But if it does, you can expect it to, you know, give it back, because they're still bearish. They got a lot of work, man. 200 moving average down through here. It's a long time before these guys cross bullishly over these guys, right? There's going to be a lot of work going through, a lot of up and down and sideways over these next few weeks, but that can be advantageous. I'd wish that that's always hindsight. I wish I got more down here. That's always the story when you go from swing high to swing low, and this area between even below 80,000, but 70 right here at 77.9, 78,000 and 74. That's always there. Man, I wish I'd bought more down there. You have to get up here before you realize that. But I haven't mentioned this in a minute, but when you zoom out and you look at Bitcoin, I'm going to remove all these. This is still the big play that I'm looking for. We finally got a breakout over the trend line. Lack of volume, so she's not quite as strong to hold it just yet. So that puts us in danger that we could, I mean, even if we come up in here, we could still come down through here and still be okay and make a higher low above this trend line. That's a probability that we could see. And the part of me hopes that we do, because I wouldn't mind getting some more Bitcoin cheaper. But here's the main play that I'm looking for, and I haven't mentioned this in a while. Now that we're in the point where we got to break out, it's crucial that we get a higher high. That's the 89, 90,000. Once we put in a higher high, and if I had to guess, we went over this in chart school tonight. This area right here, between 90 and 2, might even get up to 92,000. It could happen. shoot, there's some possibilities we might even get up higher, but I'm not seeing that just yet. The moving averages and everything else that we got going on here suggests that on the bigger play, we're on the daily forecasting. I find that fibs and moving averages really help me a lot with forecasting. I like forecasting. It's kind of like predicting, but not, predicting. It shows me the possibilities, the probable possibilities that we could hit. And so 89 would be the first one, 90, maybe as high as 92, almost 93. But the game plan, what my game plan is following that of WD GAN, because it works. Higher high, wherever it may be, here or even higher, the next higher low. Once we make a higher high, that's our first sign of confirming trend change. That will make, if this is it, we will be making a W pattern. We may only come back here for a higher low. I think we will come back a little lower. I don't know. But wherever the next higher low is, I will be going hard. I'm trying to build up and make sure that I got enough dry powder and everything ready. And we may just be coming right back to where we are right now after we go up. So my plans are to take profits all the way up to this next higher high on all my altcoins and even Bitcoin on my trades, and then getting ready for the next higher low. And then we should be in, crossing our fingers, an uptrend. And then we're ready. And then we're ready to start working on this guy at the next higher high, above 110,000. But I've been sitting there, I've been talking about this whole idea since, well, I guess it's February, March, and it's been taking this long to actually start to see something. But we got some good signs here on the daily chart, and let me go over these real quick. We're still below the 200 moving average on this chart. The futures, CME futures, have us in a really good spot. But we touched our 360 moving average. We touched it a couple of times last time we were in this situation too, and we may touch it 2 or 3 times. I'll count this one and this one. We may touch it again. I don't know. Maybe they do try to shake us out one more time and we come back down and go for one more higher low, and we're making instead of making a W, maybe we make a more of a inverted head and shoulder type pattern or triple bottom or something. That's totally doable and on the table. And I want to be ready for both scenarios, or whatever scenario. So if they do take us down before we make a higher high, I'm looking at getting in so that I can sell more. But I'm selling on our higher high. I'm exiting or de-risking or whatever you want to call it. I've got limit orders set on Fibonacci targets as we go up to get as much leverage margin freed up, dry powder, cash, however you want to put it. So for that next higher low, that's the one I'm focusing on. That's my game plan. Going by WD GAN's idea. He says that is the best, most advantageous entry is after you confirm a higher high, you get that next higher low. So I'm not looking to buy the breakout of getting higher. I'm looking at selling that breakout, because these are going to be the 2 areas. And that's just my take on it. All right, guys. So I've been going for almost 2 hours. That's too long. Too long for a stream. All right, Miller says, I just got here too. Just checking out what we got here. It has a ghost ship captain look. See, I like the zombie. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and call it lettuce fingers. Nothing's fair. Changing my bag. The fib's not square. I'm a whale. That's cool. If we get above 86,000, it will happen over the weekend. We are done with taxes payday Friday for a lot of people. Let me read that one more time. If we get above 86,000, it will happen over the weekend. We are done with taxes payday Friday for a lot of people. Yeah, tax season is over. That's something to consider. A lot for the sell-offs, because there usually is in crypto. I remember I had to sell a lot of I actually got feedback for what I owe yet, but I had a surprise tax bill because I moved to a state with taxes, and I wasn't ready for that. And it was more than I anticipated, and I had to sell off a lot of my micro strategies, almost all of them. I was pissed because that's the one position I wanted to hold, and that's the only one that was up enough that I could cover. And I sold the majority of them, all but 3 shares, but then it did a 10-to-1 split, and then they gave me back as many as I had before. So I guess that worked out. Of course, you could go woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, I could be looking at, you know, having how many 300 shares versus 30 had I not had to sell for taxes. But hey, man, at least that you know, that was taken care of. And I think a lot of people fall into get into those situations too. And sometimes you get put in a situation where you gotta de-risk or sell off on something that you really wanted to keep. The Dusty Hunt says, clearly explained. Thank you very much. Well, okay. Well, I don't know what I clearly explained, but if I did, thank you for that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to go wave 3 and wave 5 with a 4, 5. Wave at what? You start talking waves and then I get all, wow. Yeah. I just simplify it down. 3 humps and a dump, or 3 dumps and a pump. It makes it easier for me to look for what I'm looking for. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll be again here tomorrow night, Friday night, about 10:30. And if you are in the memberships, YouTube membership area, the $3 a month thing, and there is a new video going over the Fibonacci stuff and more detail about what I do and what I look for, kind of breaking it down. We went over that tonight. And we'll go to the end screen and call it a night. And thanks you for hanging out. And we'll go over the comments. We were flat on Easter last year.
I feel so unsure as I log in tonight.
We were flat, I think, right before we dumped too.
Charts start to sway.
It was about a year ago that was the best time to get out of altcoins altogether, and I didn't. Wish I had it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I should have stayed grounded, not chased the high. Now my wallet's a ghost, and I'm asking why. Market moves call out my name, a leverage dance, a fleeting game. I traded hearts for one last play, now all I hold has slipped away. Tonight the coins fall so cold, a whispered crash I can't console. I'm never gonna trade again. These keys have lost their souls, refrain, no blockchain love can end. I'm never gonna trade again the way I traded you. Time can't rewind. The blocks are sealed.
MG Motorsport says, thanks, Dog. I don't quite understand the U.S. tax system, way different from ours. No one here understands the damn thing either. That's how you know it's a freaking scam.
That I should have known.
You shouldn't have to hire people to do your taxes for you. You just shouldn't have to. For the normal average person, for a corporation, sure. But when it comes to doing your personal taxes, it should not be that big of a freaking burden to figure it out. What gets me, I'm going to go on a little rant here. What gets me is that if you got a job, the way they did this back in 1913 and everything else, to get you into their debt, you're in their system, man. You're in their system with the taxes, right? So the only way they could collect is to make the corporations do it for you. That's why they take it out for withholding. And it's kind of crazy. They know what to expect and to charge you for that. And then you kind of tally up at the end to see if you overpaid or not. But if it's any other thing, they can't sit you and say, hey, man, we think that you owe us this much. It's like, no, you tell us how much you think you owe us, and then if we don't like it, we'll come after you with everything, guns and whatever, and destroy your life and put you through court and make you have to pay for lawyers and whatever, all this other bullshit. That's the part that I don't agree with. And, you know, it's terrible. I mean, I got a letter from the IRS a few weeks ago about crypto, because my accounting last year didn't check that little box that they threw in that I think was unconstitutional for them to do that. It's none of your damn business, really, what private property you own. And if it's being treated like property and not currency, the way it should be treated as currency, and if it were currency, it would not have a tax on it for the exchange rates. So they've already screwed us over there. But okay, so it's property. I believe that it will get straightened out. But the way the IRS has been, and I'm not trying to talk. Well, I mean, I am talking bad about them, even though I was almost hired at that. I was so close to being hired as an IRS person. Until Trump came into office the first time, and then that kind of killed that. They froze the hiring, so I didn't get hired. But they make it too hard, and you know it's definitely a scam. Definitely a scam. The whole thing is. They can find a better way to do it, and I'm glad that Trump is doing the things with the tariffs. And the way things used to be. I think a lot of people are excited about that, and hope it does work out better, where they can lighten up taxes. And before, it is right, we didn't have to have taxes, and I've known that for a long time. It was the Federal Reserve and all that crap that gave us into a debt system with fractionalized lending and all that. That just screwed up everything. I'll probably be blacklisted for that now. But yeah, it's a confusing system here. Nobody here understands the damn thing either, and that's sad. It shouldn't be that hard. It didn't used to be that hard. You could do a 1040 easy form used to back in the day. Now it's like, but now it's like, when it comes to crypto, it's like they want to know every freaking transaction you ever did, and like it's more like a transaction. It comes across the way they explain it, like it should be, like it's going to be a transaction tax. Like for every little transaction, every little thing you do with crypto, there's a tax on it, and that's bullshit. I'm sorry. They need to figure out how they're going to do all the taxes and stuff like that, especially before they even address it. In my personal opinion, I'm allowed to have that opinion. Yep, I agree on the U.S. taxes with you. I mean, what nobody wants to do is get in a situation where you're trying to make a come up, and then you're playing your investments and your trades right, and then you realize, well, crap, you're having to give half of it or more back for taxes for some weird reason. And if they were to do it transactional, it would be a lot more than what you'd pay. So they just gotta straighten that crap out. But you know, that's why they hated crypto so much, because they couldn't control. They tried so hard to put crypto, the decentralized things, in Elizabeth Warren and all that stuff that she had against crypto, trying to go after decentralized exchanges, Uniswap and all that. They messed up everything. If crypto gets a chance to really straighten itself out under this administration and go in the direction that it was originally trying to, instead of trying to step on eggshells and still step around all the obstacles that they threw in the way, we would be on a much better path. I mean, I don't know if you realize this, but Uniswap, their original goal was to split fees with the token holders. Kind of like a co-op, going to give back profits that it generated. And there's your incentive for holding the token. It's got a purpose. But they've had to, now we got governance coins because they made them where it was illegal to do that. The SEC and all that. They really screwed us up. But this could be a lot more lucrative place. And the sad thing is, now that they've already kind of trained us in that way, I don't know if we'll switch back over and try to go that way or not. But if we do, oh man, yeah, hell yeah, I'd be buying them tokens. I'd be buying me some Uniswap if it generates me a yield. That's why I like STX block stacks, because I stake it and it gives me Bitcoin rewards. So I'm like, hell, you can't beat that. That's like having your little miner. I probably won't even sell that during the bear market, to be honest with you. At the price that I got it, and if it's already generated as much in Bitcoin value as I put into it a long time ago, or even as its current value, it's already generated that much in Bitcoin. Yeah, I'll probably focus on that one, because I like generating Bitcoin. Whoops, I started them off now. Oh, no. Anyway. Ryan K says, I can't do my own taxes. If I do, I'm scared. I know. And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
Eyes like charts, secrets they hide, night and day, she stalks the rise.
Bobby Medina says, we already pay taxes on everything. There's no need for income. I agree. And you know, my take on taxing crypto, tax on and off ramps, a flat tax, How can you not win? Works pretty damn good for Coinbase, don't it? And nobody will notice. Just you get used to it. A little flat tax going in, going out. Takes all the headache out of what do I got to figure out? Did I make profit on this? How much of my profit do I owe you? Does my losses count? And why is it you can only claim up to $3,000 in losses? But yeah, I think you can roll them over the next years. I don't know. It's just that's too hard. I come from a state of Tennessee. They did not have a state income tax. They do in the current state that I'm at right now. But the sales tax, a lot of people considered it up there, but if you're used to paying 10% or it was 9.25 at the time, you just got used to it. And, I don't know, it is easier. And I think, just a little flat tax on coming in and out. Why make it complicated? If you're trying to make things too complicated, you're trying to cheat somebody. And that's my opinions. SDX, yeah, that's. I like that one. I like you would be. I'm really impressed. It's consistent. Like every 2 weeks, I'm getting Bitcoin, and it just adds up. It just stacks up. I guess that's why they call it stacks. I don't know. But as long as they keep doing that, I finally added a little bit more, and I'm going to keep trying to keep doing that. Keep adding more over there to stake. China televised a threat in 2016 if Trump was elected, U.S. would suffer end of 2019. COVID destroyed more families than drugs. Until these days, now families are still destroyed. He's a good businessman, but biological warfare is wrong. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on everything you said. Oh, you just took you just retracted your message. Okay. That whole COVID mess was messed up. Trump is a good businessman. I think we're in the right hands. I really do. But Glittery Marshmallow says, why do we not learn to do taxes in school? They want you to mess up. I remember in one of my classes we did, but it was the basic easy form, but still. Yeah, the things that we need to learn how to do, they don't teach us in school, the things that we really need to learn. But we sure do learn a lot of stuff that we don't need, don't we? COVID messed up my daughter's. It messed up, yeah. I mean, my little girl, she's 10 now, and so she was going through that, and then we found out she's got dyslexia, so it made it even harder for her to learn and stuff. Yeah, it sets them back. It really, I feel, and the social conditioning that they missed out on and everything, it was horrible. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over, and I hope there's not another one. Although there's rumors of a second pandemic in the conspiracy circles. Well, or Bill Gates, however you want to interpret it, They warn of a plan, or they do these mock-up plans, computerized plans, and then somehow several years later, those things happen in the real world. Tell me how that works. So I just went through the Art of the Deal book. It wasn't bad. I was listening to the audio book a little bit, but I didn't make it very far. But I do want to listen to that. He knows how to do it, doesn't he? I mean, he's a master negotiator. I'm not saying that every move that he's make was strategically planned. He knows how to pivot. He knows how to. He's like Bruce Lee. He be Wata. He be Wata. He's fluid, but he come with crashing force. Strong. The schools have gotten as lazy as the kids. They are. Yes. Yeah, we argue with the schools too. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Thank you for hanging out. Let me go ahead and give the little doggy wave. Hope to see you guys. Trade carefully. Like I said, I do think altcoins are looking kind of interesting. My take is I'm trying to to sell out them in profit, or I do spot margin, so it enables me to kind of borrow and sell them, kind of equivalent of shorting. And those ideas, those fib levels we looked at, those pivot points, that's what I'm aiming for. See you guys later. Good night, everybody.